it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and today I have another Cricut project for you. Obviously, because I've got the Cricut Maker and it's new to me, I wanted to try out a few of the different blades in inverted commas that I had got with it as part of my gift, and one of the ones that I actually added to it was my this foiling inverted commas blade. I don't know really what else to call it, although it's not cutting, it sort of still goes in the blade holder, so I kind of think of it as a blade. But anyway, so I put together this card using just some elements that I had already. This is a pattern that I had. Basically anything that's writing you can use to then change into foiling, as far as I can gather. We will find out if I'm right on that in due course, I guess. If you like this design when you see it finished, because it always looks a bit strange on the screen here, then I will have it in my store as a download for you guys. I'll put the link as always in the blog post. So anyway, let's get cracking. So I thought it would be fun to do an Easter card. It's I guess not a million miles away. Okay, so here's a future Amanda, as it were. I'm just editing this video, and I just wanted to say that although I've said here that Easter isn't far off, just to explain that this whole card and were recorded and made prior to us losing Daisy, so things are a little bit out of sync, but obviously you can change the sentiment on this easy enough. Okay, hope that explains, and let's get on with the video. We've got here a card base, and then this is a tag that's going to sit on top of that card base, also foiled in theory. So I'm going to be cutting out of some lovely Stampin' Up cardstock, and I can't remember which colour it is, but again I will link that down below for you on the blog post. So let's click make it. Now what it will do, if I click it properly, is it will put it automatically onto 12 by 12. However, my obviously being in the UK, my Stampin' Up cardstock is A4, so I need to change that to A4 and hope it fits, which it does, so that's good. Only need one piece, that's great. So then let's click continue, and then it's just going to look for my machine, which it's found. It knows it's not going to be able to use some of these materials because obviously it's going to be foiling. It's not going to be able to foil onto cotton, for example. Now I'm going to do it onto heavy cardstock. Now what it's saying is put the foil on, but I'm just kind of wondering how I'm supposed to know where to put the foil on. Okay, well I guess we just kind of have a good guess. I mean, we know it's kind of down the bottom and also at the top right. So okay, so I'm going to pause it here on the machine, and I'm going to go on the computer, and I'm going to go on across to the Cricut. Okay, so I have put my piece of card onto my mat. I've just used a LightGrip mat. My Cricut Maker is just to one side, so I'll move it over in a minute, but I just wanted to show you the foiling kit and what you get inside. So it comes in this little box, and then inside you get your instructions and you get your little foiling thing, and you also get this little pack which has some sheets of gold foil and silver foil, and also these little like tapes, and these are to tape down your foil when it's needed to do so onto your material ready. I imagine that there's no issue with you using like low tack tape as well in the future. I don't think you need to use those tapes. I think they've put them in there so that they ensure that you get everything you need. So what you get in the packet with regard to the blade is you get the housing, and then you get 3 different thicknesses of foil tool. Now what I think you can probably now see is that just there's a ring of silver, and this one has 2, and this one has 3. So 1 is the finest, 2 is the medium, and 3 is the thickest, because it's almost impossible, if when you look at the points, to judge the thickness of those tools. So we are going for medium. Usually with these, when you have them for blades for your Cricut Explore, etc., obviously you would normally have to mine the point, but it's usually magnetic, so all you need to do is just pop it in and it literally grabs it and does that. And then when you want to get it out, you just use that at the top there, and then you can pull it out like that. So as you can see, it literally, boing, it just literally pulls it up. The magnet is strong enough to do that. Okay, so I've put another piece of cardstock on. I actually don't think it's quite the same colour, but it's good enough. And I had slightly made this smaller. Now I think that when you can buy sheets of foil that are bigger than that come in the kit, but because of the size of the foil in the kit, it just made it really fiddly to try and fit that design and make sure it didn't go on the tape. So I thought, I don't want you guys to have a problem any more than I want a problem in making that design fit onto the foil if you only get the kit. So I just made it a bit smaller so that we could easily tape around. You still need to be a little bit cautious around these 2 sides, but top and bottom no problem, and the same hopefully with this. So I think I've lined it all up correctly this time. And I've taped it down. I just used masking tape, so I'm hoping that that's not going to lift up my card when it's finished, but otherwise I think we are ready to go. Okay, so it's flashing away, ready for me to load my mat. So fingers crossed everyone that we've got it right this time, and we're just waiting for the little Cricut head, and there he goes. So let's hope it all works. And I didn't move the label either, so I'm hoping that that's going to be okay. I really wanted to see if we could make it work without moving it, because again, if you guys download this, I didn't want you guys to have to fiddle around if necessary. So again, I'm hoping that this will work fine. If for any reason it doesn't, I'll take one of the layers of the edge, because it's got 3 kind of, actually it's fitting fine. So again, if you're careful how you do it, it seems it's working. It's got like 4 rings around it, so I could have removed one if necessary, but it seems so far we seem to have got it in the right place. So it was actually really easy. What I did was I made sure this mat was exactly the same way up as it was on the screen. So I went through to the where it says make it now, and you've done continue, and you've gone into that bit, and it has the inches down the side on that on the screen, and then the centimeters this way. So I made sure it's identical, put my card on in the same way, and then I literally lined this up so that it went beyond the edges of the design. It's really quite close still, so I'm hoping that it's, I didn't want it to go too small, and the width was the problem, because I think the height wasn't an issue, but the width was the issue, and I didn't want it to go too tiny, but I think we're okay. So I'm going to let it get on with it. I'm going to turn you guys off because you don't need to sit and watch it, just do this for the next 5 minutes, and I'll come back to you when it's done. So it's saying, important, do not unload the mat. Remove the foil, load the fine point blade, and then press go to resume. Okay, so we're going to go back over to the machine and do precisely that. Okay, so it has finished. It hasn't ripped anything. So the next step is, as it said, is to carefully peel all the tape and foil off. So I'm going to take my little tool here, and then I'm going to very carefully, because I don't want to rip the card. Okay, now it's a little bit hard to show you, but it has come out perfect and it looks gorgeous. I love it. Now we do need to just remember a couple of things. One, we want to put our little rollers back because that helps hold our card. I like to do it evenly, even though we haven't got a 12 by 12 on. It just is easier because when I do have a 12 by 12 on, I forget. And then obviously we need to take out our little foiling blade. It feels funny calling it a blade, but I don't know what else to call it. And then pop in a real blade and then press our Cricut head, and it's going to go off and it's going to cut everything out. That is that, and look at that, isn't that beautiful? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the machine out the way, and then we're going to start taking a look at the card and putting it together. Okay, so here it is. Isn't it gorgeous? I mean, it has come out absolutely perfectly, and as you can see, the detail is incredible. It's come out perfectly, and look at even just this sentiment. I mean, it's just gorgeous. I mean, there's not a flaw on it anywhere now. I'm really glad that we redid it. I'm glad that I made the mistakes, because I think that's helped understand, you know, what the problem, you know, where I was going wrong. But it was just, it's just come out gorgeous, I think. So I'm really pleased with it. I just fold that. And I'm going to just knit. Can you see where it just had those little cuts to show you the position of the fold? So we'll just nick those off. There's no big deal about that. And that's all done. That's gorgeous. Look at that. Isn't that nice? So you could have it that way around if you prefer, and have it opening that way. Or as we had it in the design, we had it that way, but it would, as I say, easily go that way. In fact, actually, I think I'm going to do exactly that, because I actually think I prefer it that direction. I think it looks better that way, but I will leave it as it is on the machine there on the design, because obviously that's how I showed you how to put the foil on, you know, and all of that. So I'll leave it exactly as it is, but it's very easy obviously to turn it around, oh gosh, any direction you want. So then all I want to do now is just get a little bit of foam. I'm running out of foam, so I need to just use these little strips here, but I could do with some squares. I must have some somewhere. All I'm doing here is just making sure that my design is even, and you can see there that was just slightly not far enough over. The little triangles were not even each side there. And then looking top to bottom, I think it needs to just go up a tiny bit maybe, and I think that looks pretty good. And then just give it a little press down, and there we go. My little crocodile corner chomper. So I'm going to start with the 1/4 inch, but we may go to the 1/2 inch. Yeah, we're definitely going to the 1/2 inch. And just chomp off the corners like so. Oh, and my light is just going here. I'm running out of battery, so hopefully you can just see. So there it is, all done. I think personally I'm really pleased with how that turned out. Once we worked it out, I think that it's turned out really, really effective, and I'm really liking it. And what excites me about this is the potential, because there's so many, you know, pretty much as far as I can see, anything that you can use on the Cricut for writing, you could use for foiling, which is kind of cool. And the detail clearly is amazing. I mean, this was using the medium tip, so I guess if you had something really finely detailed, you'd use the really fine tip and you could get even more detail on there. So that is it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed making this card with me, and don't forget, of course, to go on across to the blog post. As always, there'll be tons of photos of the finished card, and as promised, I will put links to the products used, including a link to the download for this design if you want it. So don't forget to go on across and have a look, and while you're there, do subscribe, because I'd love you to subscribe, and make sure that you get notified every time there's a video. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, because it tells YouTube that you like it, and then they recommend me to other people, so that's really helpful as well. So thank you so much, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye.